Okay, so today we're doing something a little different. We are literally opening up a time capsule. We're heading all the way back to August 1953 to explore the wisdom packed inside this one issue of the magazine Akhand, Jyoti. I mean, what can these pages from over 70 years ago teach us about living a meaningful life today? Well, let's find out. And the mind behind this entire publication was the visionary writer Yug Rishi Pandit Sri Ram Sharma Acharyaji. This single quote, wow, it really sets the stage for everything we're about to get into. See, this isn't just about a little self-improvement here and there. This is a blueprint for a total spiritual evolution.
So, here's our roadmap for today. Think of it like we're climbing a mountain. We're going to start at the base with forging the inner self. Then we'll move up to how we live with purpose in the world. And finally, we'll reach the peak, the spiritual quest, before we look at how it all comes together for us right here, right now.
All right, Section 1, A Voice from the Past. Let's start digging into this timeless spiritual guidance.
First things first, we have to build the foundation, right? That's the inner self. The magazine makes this incredible point that before we can even hope to change the world out there, we have to first master the world in here.
So, the article Don't Be Afraid of Anyone just throws this question right at us. What is fear, really? What are we actually afraid of? And the answer it gives is fascinating. It suggests the problem isn't out there. It's rooted in the weaknesses we think we have inside ourselves.
And the solution it offers is this beautiful three-part path. It all starts with self-realization. That's knowing your true, powerful self. Then you support that with faith, a deep, unshakable trust in a higher power. And you prove it all through righteous action. Basically, living a life of such integrity that you've got nothing to hide and nothing to fear. The path to fearlessness is paved with self-knowledge and good deeds. Simple as that. And this brings us right to the idea of happiness. You know, the magazine makes this really sharp distinction. We often chase after these fleeting pleasures, thinking they're the real deal. But it argues that true happiness isn't something you go out and get. It's an inner state of contentment that you grow. It's the natural result of a life lived with virtue and a real spiritual connection.
So, how do you build that connection? Well, one of the key tools is prayer. But, and this is a big but, it's not about giving a laundry list of things you want. Nope. Prayer here is framed as a way to do some inner house cleaning. It's the soul having an honest chat with the divine, a way to purify yourself and align your inner world with something bigger.
Okay, so once that inner self is feeling strong, the focus shifts outward. That brings us to Section 2, Living with Purpose and the Path of Selfless Action. Now, this is where the idea of work gets a complete makeover. It's not just a 9-to-5 grind. Honest work, honest labor, is actually presented as a form of worship. And serving other people, that's seen as the most direct way to serve the divine. The big insight here is that your daily actions are your spiritual practice. Now, it's really important to faithfully represent this source from 1953, so we have to present its perspective just as it was written. An article titled The Indian Woman is great, uses this quote to frame its entire viewpoint, really zeroing in on qualities like sacrifice and service as being central to her role in the family and the nation. And digging a little deeper into the source's content, the article draws a straight line from the virtues of a woman in her role at home to the moral strength of the entire country. The idea is that nurturing the family is the absolute bedrock on which you build a stable and ethical society. But you know, it wasn't all just these big philosophical ideas. The magazine also had super practical, timeless advice. I'm talking simple rules of etiquette. Don't gossip, be on time, don't start pointless fights, be polite on the bus. These were seen as vital for creating social harmony through small, everyday acts of respect. And honestly, that wisdom never goes out of style. All right, so from the inner world and the social world, we now climb to our final theme. Section 3, the spiritual quest, all about connecting to a higher truth.
So, one article tackles this really complex question, is idol worship unnecessary? And its answer is incredibly nuanced. It explains that, no, the idol itself isn't God. It's a powerful symbol, a tool for our minds to focus devotion. The idol is like the doorway, but the destination is realizing that formless, all-powerful divine that's already inside you. So this shows two paths to the exact same goal. On one side, selfless service to other people is a way to connect with the divine. And on the other, so is devotion to an idol. The point is that both are physical, external things you do to create an internal state of connection to something much, much bigger than yourself.
The magazine also defines yoga in its purest sense, and it's probably not what you're thinking. It's not about exercise or physical postures. It's presented as a complete spiritual discipline. The real goal, as it's described here, is to gain mastery over your own mind and senses, which leads to inner peace and ultimately union with the divine.
And woven throughout the entire magazine is the importance of the Gayatri mantra. It's hailed as the very essence of ancient Vedic wisdom, a seriously powerful spiritual tool that, when you chant it with devotion, can awaken that divine light of wisdom that's already inside every single one of us.
So we've gone through 3 different threads, right? The inner self, purposeful action, and the spiritual quest. Now let's bring them all together to see the magazine's incredible, holistic vision for fulfilled life.
You see, Akhand Jyoti's vision is that these aren't separate paths you can pick and choose from. Building your inner character, acting with purpose in the world, and seeking a higher truth are all essential parts of the same whole. True fulfillment is found right at the intersection of all 3. It's about integrating who you are, what you do, and what you believe into one seamless, meaningful life.
We just traveled back in time, listening to wisdom from a world that was very, very different from ours. And yet, these core messages about fear, happiness, service, connection, they feel absolutely timeless. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. From everything we've just uncovered, which single lesson can you take from 1953 and bring into your life starting right now?